Alright, today I'm going to show you how to print mini posters. And what you need to do is buy this photo paper. You can either buy it in glossy or matte. The dimensions are 11 by 17. And how to accurately print it like this with no borders. Now my first time doing this in my printer, I got borders. Even though in a printer I put 11 by 17 with 0 borders, it still came out like this because of my settings were sort of wrong. You have to let the printer do its thing. So I'll show you how to change that. And also how to put this in your printer. I have a multi-functional printer, or whatever they call it, the MFC printers. So this is my printer here. It's all in one. It does everything: scanner, printer, faxer, you name it. And what you don't want to do is print using this tray here, whether it's printing 8.5 by 11 or even the A6 or 4 by 6 or any of those little photos. You do not want to use the tray. Do not put it here, because this thing has spurs and it kind of damages your photo. I'll see if I can show you the proof here. Now I printed a lot of these until I finally noticed the mistake and fixed it. But if you look really close, see if I can get it to focus. It might not show up on camera, but the spurs kind of like pierce the photo. It pierces it, and it's like it's there. It's like little dots. It's not noticeable until you get really close to the photo. From far away, you really can't tell. But to avoid that, what you want to do is just put the paper in manually from the back. At least in this printer here, it does have a way to print manually. Now you can only do one paper at a time. See? So manually you can only do one at a time. It's a pain in the ass, but you'll get better results using the back side of it for either this size of photos, 4 by 6, the old schools, or using these right here, which are also glossy paper. You can use these to print your image without any of those little pierced dots on your photo. It'll be one at a time, but it's worth it. Obviously, when it comes to these big ones right here, you have no choice but to use the manual feeder. I tried earlier to actually stick it in here. I took this part out and try to stick it in there. That way it'll print it, and it doesn't do that. So for anything that's 11 by 17 or bigger, it definitely has to go here. But I recommend you do that for anything that's photo related. Alright, so now we'll turn on the computer. Now I'll show you the correct settings. I'll show you the mistake that I made. Alright, so this is some of the pictures that I want to print, and let's see, where's the one that I printed? Okay, so I'm using a Mac, so I'm just using this application to do everything, which is on the Mac it's called Preview, and on here but Command P, and you get these options. So what you want to do is have your printer selected, make sure the photo is glossy, and go to media and quality and make sure it's in glossy here again, and it's at the best quality possible. And here is where you choose your size. Now obviously this 11 by 17 mini poster does not exist. You have to go to manage custom settings to add that in, and when you do that, that's where you put 11 by 17, and it says the non-printable area, it says user defined. That's the mistake I made. You make sure you click on your printer, and here all of this should be 0. And I did that the first time, all of this was 0, and I put 11 by 17 and I left it at user defined, when in reality the printer uses 11.31 by 17, and that's how you get a borderless image. So here we'll choose the mini poster again, and since I didn't crop this to fit exactly on the paper, we're gonna go to preview and press scale to fit, and then press fill entire image, and it should look like that. And to make sure that everything is gonna go correctly, you're gonna go to, let me see, it's supposed to show you the size. Okay, so there you go. You gotta make sure it says 11.31 by 17. And when you first do this in your printer settings, you just select your printer. Don't use the user defined non-printable area, that your printer choose that. And when you put that in, that number, it's gonna compensate the non-printable area for you. So as long as it says that, it'll be good. And you just press print and you're all ready to go. So I'm not printing that today, but we will print another one. So here we go. So this is the glossy area, and it's gonna go in this way. Okay. Usually if you have it in this tray, what you would do is put the glossy area facing down. That way the paper can go in and it bends and it comes out this way. But when you use the manual feeder, it starts printing the glossy area and it comes in straight. So hopefully that helps some of you. Alright, now let's find a picture that we actually want to print. Got a picture of Lana here. Command P. We're gonna choose our mini poster custom size. Click fill entire paper. And everything looks good. And we just press print. And we'll come to the printer here. Let's see the magic happen. So this is going to take a while, so we're just wait until it comes out and I'll show you the result. There she is. For anyone who is interested in buying these doors, they are for Billy bookcases, and depending on the size, they start from $35. And you can either buy the Billy bookcase and use them on that, or you can just buy the door by itself and hang it like a frame. So on the full size one, you can fit 4 mini posters, and if you use the 8.50 by 11, you can use about 7 of those. Let me see if they have the full size on here. There you go. You can get a 38-inch wide, or you can get a 75-inch wide, and it's about $55 for that. And usually photo frames cost about the same amount of money, so you can just buy this, put more photos on it. It has the glass, and behind it is this right here. So it's a cheap way to use this thing to your advantage. I will be doing that soon. Buy some of them and wall hang them. But for now, let me show you how I do my posters. And you need about 3 things here: ruler, scotch tape, and obviously some scissors. And I just use this to space them out so they all look about the same. Now if you have a right angle ruler, this will be much easier, but this is pretty much what I do. It doesn't have to be too accurate, it just has to look consistent. And you can measure this side and find a midpoint or the center. And the center here for those is about 4.5 inches. So what you want to do is just put it just right there and come back and pretty much measure the same thing here. And it will be just about that. It doesn't have to be too accurate. And once you get the first one right, when it comes to the second one, you can just use this to get the spacing right. And whether this photo actually aligns with this one doesn't really matter. I mean, you can get it as close as possible by just eyeballing it, and you'll look just fine. And you'll keep doing that until you get all your posters done. And of course, you don't want to do this measurement until you already put tape on the back of the posters and then measure. That way you can just put the photo in there and not have to realign it later. So let me continue printing some more, and I'll show you the finished product later.